nak buat duit sebagai content creator ni susah.
Memang boleh buat content, can have millions of views, tapi a lot of them do not know how to monetize. Normally they look at purely from the monetization directly daripada platform lah. Tapi more importantly, how can you build something yang dapat solve people's problem?
Richard Kerr adalah seorang storyteller, entrepreneur, dan builder yang pernah bekerja dari Beijing sampai membantu bina startup ekosistem di Asia Tenggara.
Daripada tech branding sampai konten, beliau percaya satu benda.
People don't remember information. People remember stories.
You ingat cerita sang kancil dengan buaya. And that's why I said, people will remember stories more than anything else. If you want truly to be different in this life or trying to be impactful, you can only do this through storytelling, through creative thinking. That's why we have Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and even for our local context, Khairul Aming. Even if you think about Khairul Aming, all his content memang pun storytelling. He doesn't really talk about the sambal lah. That's why it resonates with a lot of people. No one can truly copy your story. There's no AI pun yang boleh replicate this view at this point in time. That's what makes it so powerful lah. So it doesn't matter if you have 10 followers pun, kalau if your content is good, it's going to be shown to many people lah. So katakanlah you have a story to tell, banyak lah dalam cerita tu kan, but you only focus on 3.
Saya baru tengok kita punya YouTube Analytics dan saya dapati bahawa sebanyak 82% daripada anda semua yang menonton Laga Lutut Podcast masih belum subscribe ke channel Laga Lutut Podcast. Jadi boleh tak saya nak ajak anda semua untuk sama-sama sertai 18% pada mereka yang sudah subscribe, sebab bila anda subscribe Laga Lutut Podcast ni, dia membantu tim kami untuk menghasilkan lagi banyak konten dan boleh menjemput lebih banyak guest yang boleh memberi lebih banyak input dan nilai dalam membantu anda untuk memajukan diri dalam bisnes dan juga diri kita semua sendiri. Jadi jemput subscribe, dan subscribe tu percuma saja. Anda boleh subscribe dengan tekan butang merah di bawah. Sekarang silalah sambung tonton Laga Lutut Podcast. Terima kasih.
Satu mesej daripada Pejabat Perdana Menteri. Terus terang, memang saya tak sangka. Beberapa minggu kemudian, saya menerima email rasmi untuk hadir ke satu mesyuarat dan sesi pelantikan. Semalam, barulah diumumkan secara rasmi. Saya dilantik sebagai fellow kenegaraan di Akademi Kenegaraan Malaysia di bawah Pejabat Perdana Menteri.
Tahniah tuan.
Terima kasih. Individu daripada pelbagai bidang untuk menyumbang idea dan perspektif untuk masa depan negara. Peranannya bukan politik.
Jadi function tuan, bukan maksud saya function lah, secara kasarnya function tuan ialah untuk buat konten lah for kenegaraan.
Not just this lah. I think to contribute ideas juga lah. Yeah.
Contribute what kind of situation that we're having right now yang memerlukan tuan on board?
I think one thing for sure from my perspective lah government is doing a lot of things. Sebab I pun pernah kerja kerajaan kan, government agencies. Itulah, it's always the visibility lah. And the government cannot buat in a way just publish the program macam tu. It cannot be like that. It has to be storytelling way. You have to go to the ground. You have to show the what's actually happening lah.
Tuan rapat sikit dekat mic.
Dekat sikit.
Kursi pun tak apa, boleh je. Yeah, continue, please continue.
Yeah, I think itulah, how do we use storytelling way lah, which is the core of what I do kan. Semua memang related to storytelling lah.
And why does that storytelling matters, and then how it connect dengan tuan punya vision, and then why so?
Meaning? Sorry?
How the storytelling connects with your vision right now? Vision on what you doing lah, the purpose of you doing things.
Yes.
And then why is that? Kenapa macam tu?
Of course, initially when I started the whole thing, I never had the intention to be I call it a creator lah on social media. So there's the history behind this. Nantilah we can discuss later. But eventually I found out that memang storytelling ni is a powerful tool lah that anyone can have. Whether they want to build their business, they want to build a career, or they want to set a trajectory for their life lah. Storytelling is the best way because you can convey your ideas and through an audience, and storytelling is the only way that people can understand. You can share facts, figures, but at the end of the day, people will remember story more than anything else. And
Why? Kenapa?
that's the human mind. The humans are programmed to understand story, and that's part of your brain lah. Memang there's one part of the brain. Memang dia program is to understand story, and storytelling has been around for the last 30,000 years. So dia dah evolve lah daripada dulu-dulu cave growing. Then after that ada scriptures. So scripture is basically our Quran lah, our Bible. Then of course in today's context, it's all the digital media lah. So it's the best way, kan? So despite, as I said lah, part of the government, whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're trying to achieve, the most powerful way is to do storytelling. And that is what I'm trying to advocate lah to people.
Apa yang Tuan boleh kongsikan dekat?
Dah start dah?
Memang dah start dari tadi pun.
Okay.
Cuma kita start
Start
terus je.
start
Kita,
terus lah.
tadi warm up.
Okay.
Memang straight to the point je.
Okay.
Macam sepak mamak kan.
Yalah.
Cuma kita tanya-tanya kan, bila for my perspective lah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure kalau audience kat luar berkongsi rasa yang sama. Bila kita cakap pasal storytelling,
Yeah.
saya terus like pergi balik ke zaman saya sekolah. And then somehow I didn't find to connect storytelling yang Tuan maksudkan dengan apa yang saya tahu pasal storytelling waktu saya sekolah rendah.
Okay.
Sebab waktu sekolah rendah kita disajikan dengan storytelling macam sang kancil, and then naik atas stage buat pertandingan bercerita, and then start dengan pada suatu hari bila it keeps coming to me bila someone, not just you, bila cakap pasal storytelling, it cannot dia tak boleh lepaskan, dia tak boleh putuskan connection that kind of storytelling to that my childhood punya storytelling punya perspektif.
Yalah.
Macam ni kita nak betulkan perspektif ni dengan orang ramai yang berfikir maybe that's why people are kind of weird dengan storytelling. I don't know. What do you think?
That's why lah I said, for obvious reason you made the statement tadi. I said you ingat cerita sang kancil dengan buaya. And that's why I said people will remember stories more than anything else. You takkan ingat the facts and figures masa you belajar science. Of course you will remember some lah, tapi you will always remember because memang the human brain is programmed in that way. So that is why when the, how do I say katakan the world lah, dunia ni design for during the industrial revolution. Banyak lah time tu ya. So you can imagine time masa they call it mass production. Masa tu lah yang companies they start buat kilang. Katakan kilang Ford in the US lah. So the world back then dia kena design how do we maximize output for production of these vehicles kan. So they design lah. Dia akan educate people in such a way, a very structured way. So if you fikir about dari segi education system people are taught in certain ways. They are very structured. So that's why most people they akan keluar daripada from the education system. Most people will call them as, this is the term coined by people lah, cookie cutter. Tahu tak maksud dia cookie cutter?
Pemotong biskut.
Yalah. Maksudnya semua sama. Semua sama. The thinking is the same. The way they approach, the way they solve problem, it's quite the same lah for everyone. Maybe 97% the same. Tapi those who stand out, those who trying to challenge the status quo, orang cakap, are the people who can change the world. So that's why the structured people, of course we need them lah. Tapi if you want truly to be different in this life or trying to be impactful, you can only do this through storytelling, through creative thinking. And that's why we have the Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and even for our local context, Khairul Aming. Even if you think about Khairul Aming, cara dia buat dia punya everything that he does lah memang revolve around storytelling. And as you know, dia dulu study dekat US kan, and dia punya passion pun memang storytelling pun. I think I remember there's a story that he participated in a video production competition using storytelling, and he won lah the competition. So masa dia dah balik Malaysia, he used to work at an oil and gas company, I think. Tapi again, his passion is really about storytelling, about creating something kan. So even dia buat side gigs dulu, his initial attempt buat sambal in the early days not successful. Tapi he kept on trying. So at one point in time, as you know, dia punya social media account grew kan. Everybody gets to know him. Then if you look at all his content, memang pun storytelling. He doesn't really talk about the sambal lah. Dia cakap, we bring our staff to retreat, jalan-jalan. Everything about storytelling. That's why it resonates with a lot of people. And itulah, I think the opportunity here is storytelling ni is actually being used widely lah dekat US or Western countries. And why Hollywood is successful, it's because the stories, the films that they created, everything pun memang storytelling. Kan? So the opportunities here is, I think at least in this region lah, in Asia kan, as we grow, as we trying to be more prosper dekat this region ni, I think storytelling is the best way. So that's what I'm trying to do lah sekarang, to highlight Malaysian stories, actually not even Malaysian stories lah, termasuk Southeast Asia lah, because that's the goal. I have the big goal to actually build an academy for entrepreneurs and creators. So this is macam dia platform lah, orang boleh be part of it, they can learn many things, so that they can create something, and I believe that can make Southeast Asia lebih prosper lah, lebih kaya.
I just wondering kan, what kind of problem, what kind of root cause or source of the problem that you see semasa you kecil in your childhood, and that drives you to do what you're doing right now?
Problem, I think like most people, right? You think, okay, we go through the education system. Of course, that's important. You kena study lah juga kan. Macam mana pun, you kena finish your studies lah. So I truly advocate this also. So I don't, when I see young people creating content, hey, you don't have to study lah. I dismiss that lah. Because in any case pun, you kena study. Tapi itulah, masa tu I fikir, okay, once you finish studying, you kena find a stable job, and then you're gonna work for the next 30 tahun, and after that retire. That's the typical way of thinking lah, as I said. Yeah, that's the way the world is designed untuk industrial revolution. Kan? So, tapi as I progress in my career lah, I of course dah kerja banyak tempat, macam-macam company. I said, hey, life is not just about this lah. It has more than this. I can be purposeful, I can be meaningful to others. So of course, many things yang I dah buat, then I said, maybe one of the ways is how can I inspire others also. So then I discovered, okay, we have the internet. Everyone is given that tool, social media lah sekarang ni kan, that you can always publish something without permission from anyone pun. So I think this solves my problem, and of course I think eventually pun dia akan solve other punya problems lah, because this opens up banyak opportunities for everyone actually. So even if you look at this podcast studio, it gives a platform for people to
Share stories,
broadcast themselves kan. So think about 50 years ago lah, no one has this tool. You kena go through traditional media, and those traditional media only the tycoons have access to. They have the technology, they have the infrastructure. So orang biasa-biasa memang susah lah, they cannot publish anything. So information was flowing one way back then kan, newspapers, no one can really publish anything lah. Then of course bila dah ada internet, then people can start blogging, then of course ada YouTube, then people can start showcasing lah. So in a way, you can say this is like a renaissance. Tahu renaissance kan? Apa yang Melayu kan renaissance?
Kebangkitan
Maybe.
That's what I
There's
understand.
a term lah for that, renaissance. So renaissance happened, I think, in the 16th century. So now we live in a digital renaissance. So everyone is given that opportunity. Like everyone actually has the opportunity to showcase, to build something. And so it's just how you want to use it lah.
So bila tuan cakap pasal the people are structured because somehow the system, the education system yang buatkan kita ni semua structured macam ni kan. And bila kita nak buat storytelling tu, memang ada satu pattern or one structure of storytelling sahaja ke ataupun there are multiples of structure in storytelling?
Framework lah, macam gitu, framework.
If you can use that word lah, kalau itulah istilah yang lebih tepat to the people yang memang structured ni.
Actually banyak. If you just Google lah storytelling framework atau structure, memang banyak. Tapi essentially storytelling, I can structure it in a way to the most basic lah, and in the context of social media today lah, because that's the tool that I use. Kan?
The key.
Yeah, that's the tool and that's the easiest way lah yang anybody can apply today. So in any story there needs to be a hook. You know that hook ni untuk, of course lah, you want to capture the attention kan. So the way that you capture attention is through the hook lah. So the hook can come in many forms. In today it can be macam a strong visual, a statement. So once you get to hook the audience, then you want to, they say, intrigue them. Intrigue ni dia try to macam memikat lah, try to, but you don't throw all the stories, everything time to you. So you intrigue them. Basically you bagi clue lah, what is that story that you're trying to tell. Then after that it goes to the body itself, or the you, in a way that you entertain lah, in the sense, what is the actual story that you're trying to tell, kan? Then after that, normally they will also be stories of macam mana ya, I would say stories of struggles lah, contoh. Because normally when I highlight macam entrepreneurs punya stories, it's not about perfection. They are the ups and downs lah. Yang ups and downs ni yang buat cerita tu relatable to people, kan? So that's normally I would include within that body itself. Then after that you will have your, what do you call that, you will try to convince them. Contohnya, why is this story important? What are the lessons learned from this story? Then of course at the end is the call to action lah. The call to action, it's either you say, hey, follow me for more stories like this, or if you feel this story is interesting, please subscribe. Contoh lah. So that's the normal framework that I normally use. Tapi yang paling penting tu, it's to really highlight the stories of struggle. Yang ini sangat penting.
Dan story of struggles tu dia start dekat mana? Dekat hook ke dekat body?
It can be in the body. Again, this is not a fixed format. Tapi imagine if you're trying to sell a product using storytelling, yeah. In a very typical way, people say, oh, this is my product, please buy. Tapi if you put storytelling element lah, contoh ya, you put say, hey, today where do you live? Tinggal mana?
Sorry?
You tinggal kat mana?
Saya Berjaya baru pindah.
Oh, baru pindah. Okay lah.
Like literally.
Katakanlah you ke Shah Alam lah.
Literally yesterday.
Oh, really? Welcome to Cyberjaya. I've lived here for 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, 12, yeah. And always wanted to live here. Anyway, katakan you Shah Alam lah. Then you coming to Cyberjaya, right? Say. Then
Keluar tol Batu Tiga tu.
Yalah.
I'm just giving you more input to create.
I see.
I just giving you input to create the stories.
Okay. So maybe your goal is to sell this podcast studio lah.
Okay,
contoh,
okay.
Ya, contoh. So in a very typical way, people say, hey, this is my podcast studio, please come and you can do your podcast here. Tapi if you use storytelling, say, hey, today I'm very excited. Contoh, I'm very excited today sebab I'm on my way to do a Laga Lutut podcast together dengan Richard Kerr. Yeah. So then you give a context lah. What is this podcast all about? Then after that, I know this podcast is is very important to me sebab you want to inspire others, you want to learn something from somebody who have done something before lah. Then after that, then I'm very excited. Then the podcast will start very soon. Then, by the way, this podcast studio is located in Cyber. So if you're interested, please contact this person, Han, contoh. So I think it makes it more interesting lah because there are the storyline.
Kepada siapa? I mean, when you tell the stories kan,
Yes.
kita tak like generally tell the stories to general audience
Yes.
kan. Then how we can position ourselves to speak to a certain group of people,
Okay.
even though we just publish dekat dalam general public spaces, dekat macam social media contohnya.
So I think the goal here is to build an audience first. I think most people they think, oh, we have to target right away. So that's a very traditional way of thinking lah. Contohnya macam I met so many businesses, dia cakap, oh, we want to target this market. Of course that's very important. You have to understand your potential customers lah. Tapi in the world that we live in today kan, social media, it's Gary V pernah cakap ni lah.
It's a stage.
It's no longer a social media. It is an interest media.
Interest media.
Interest media.
Ya, betul, pernah dengar.
Kan? So people now, they follow content based on their interests. And the beauty of social media today lah compared to many years ago. Dulu dia more close-knit. Of course that's very important. You're only connected with friends kan, kawan-kawan you. Tapi sekarang ni, your content is depending on whatever you produce lah. Dia akan push to certain types of audience that may be relevant or maybe interested in the things that you talk about. So meaning that's why kalau if you masuk Facebook ke Instagram, dia banyak macam-macam content sekarang. Even yang content you tak follow pun dia akan push to you because the algorithm feels this is content that is relevant to you lah. So when you publish your story macam tu, so there's always a potential that unknown audience get to see it and they said, Amirul punya content is quite interesting lah. Then people will gonna start follow you. So you do this consistently over time, then your audience will get bigger. So eventually they know already this is the story you're doing, this storytelling. You talk about this content kan. So eventually it will build your audience lah. Because the goal is not to sell to everyone. The goal is to
Build audience.
connect to relevant audience who believe in what we do. So macam my content, I'm sure it doesn't resonate dengan audience yang they only want to look at funny content or entertainment content lah. I feel lah. Because banyak lah people, if you look at social media today, banyak content pasal entertainment and rubbish content lah.
Betul.
That's my perspective. That's my perspective. Of course, entertainment, funny content is important. Tapi the opportunities here is to create content yang inspirational, also educational.
Ataupun memang itu tuan punya perspektif on how you do content kan.
Of course.
Sebab from my experience, bila cakap pasal audiences yang ada dekat Malaysia, it give me some feelings yang orang Malaysia ni dia suka benda kelakar-kelakar, dia suka membahan orang, dia suka melahap.
Betul.
Istilah dia suka melahap, suka finds entertainment sebenarnya. And then benda ni some sort of, macam mana cakap, for us to do storytelling to the masses, adakah kita perlu jadi, we need to be entertainment, and if so, what is entertainment dalam social media?
I think entertainment is naturally something funny lah, something skits semua tu. Of course, that's it. Those are important. People want to be entertained lah. Memang actually people go to social media pun to be entertained, mostly lah. Tapi again, the other perspective and the opportunities, what kind of content can you create that to make it inspirational also? Sebab if you think about yang I shared tadi tu pasal Industrial Revolution, it's maybe that's how it is designed because people, they only seek for entertainment in life. They just want to consume only, consume. They don't want to create. And that is the opportunity that I see lah. Again, I may not be correct, I don't know.
Sebab ada satu istilah I jumpa. I mean, when you talk about inspirational kan, kita cakap pasal education.
Yes.
Correct? So when we
Combination lah.
So dia ada satu terms coined by this, he call it as edutainment.
Yes.
So edutainment tu, can you explain sikit tak dekat audience tentang edutainment tu? Macam mana edutainment tu? Dalam bahasa mudahnya.
Edutainment is basically the combination entertainment dengan education lah kan. So of course, the underlying principle of people memang masuk social media, they want to be entertained. Tapi how can you masukkan elements of education kepada entertainment tu? So it's not just purely content yang entertaining lah. They can educate also at the same time. So sometimes if you part of the storytelling, you can start off with something funny dulu. Something funny tapi dalam funny content tu what is educational to the content. So the content itself tu ada value lah. Kalau just purely on entertainment, of course that's so many people doing it already. Banyak lah. Sangat-sangat banyak. And normally even sometimes the content that I watch pun tengok funny lah. Then you feel entertained lah. Sometimes you want to distress kan. Tapi sometimes I saw the content yang macam stand up comedian macam tu, dia pun ada some educational elements lah dalam content tu.
So macam contoh kalau orang tu, the storyteller, dia bukan orang yang boleh entertain people, especially in public lah. Dia hanya boleh entertain family dia, kan, isteri dia, spouse dia kan. Tu buat dia orang gelak-gelak. Tapi bila dekat public, dia ada karakter dia sendiri. So bila dengan karakter dia macam ni, adakah dia perlu jadi entertainer? Adakah perlu dia convert diri dia menjadi entertainer? Adakah dia perlu belajar untuk jadi entertainer di samping dia cuba sharing, ataupun jadi diri dia sahaja? If it's dull je lah.
I think jadi diri is actually quite important lah. Dia related to having your own authenticity lah. You have to be authentic, right? I think authenticity in today's context is very important. Because I pernah nampak lah people comment, oh, this KOL, this influencer, tengok social media ni, wah, inspiring. Tapi bila jumpa in person, totally different. So that's no good lah.
Tapi itulah yang membuatkan dia dapat dia punya audience.
Yes.
That's how they attracted.
That's one perspective of things. You have to look at the other perspective. Most people will only look at the same perspective daripada angle ni. That's why this could be the 97% of people. Dia akan tengok this angle only. Because life is really about perspectives lah. So if you observe, macam ni. Tapi what if we tengok this side also? And I think this is the untapped lah, I would say. The untapped opportunities yang most people belum explore. Yeah. Because contohnya, say Khairul Aming lah. I don't think he's an entertainer, but he's a good storyteller. And what makes it inspirational and people go to him, doesn't matter lah. Katakan esok Khairul Aming nak jual basikal, I'm sure 100% people will buy his bicycle. Because he already built an audience, he is already connected to his audience. So that is that other perspective that most people don't go to. Because I feel it is more difficult. It is more difficult. Memang lebih susah daripada you just buat content yang entertaining lah, yang lucu, yang funny, people want to follow.
Sebab kenapa soalan tu? Sebab baru pagi tadi I just come across this one video. The topic of the video is ialah macam mana dia jadi influencer. Part 2 dia kata. Ini orang putih punya orang putih punya video. And then dia cakap kan, dia cakap dengan suara yang dalam, deep voice, tapi dia mention kat situ, dia bina konten dia bukan dengan suara ni. Dia bina dengan konten dia guna suara high pitch.
Okay.
Dia guna high pitch untuk dapatkan audience dia tu. Cuma kali ni je dia menunjukkan diri dia yang sebenar. Yang sebenarnya dia cakap macam ni je. Dalam konten je dia cakap. Dia cakap high pitch. So that's the thing lah. Macam contoh sekarang suara saya. Suara saya agak deep. So ini suara memang serius lah. Tapi orang luar bila I tengok all the comments dalam Laga Lutut podcast, dia kata macam suara ni terlalu mendatar. Selalu macam sebab I bercakap atas stage juga. So orang komen suara mendatar, terlalu straightforward, terlalu direct, dan dia membuatkan some part of the people dah rasa macam dia impact They impact the storytelling,
Yeah.
the storytelling punya part. And in your perspective kan, how is that okay ataupun we should macam contoh saya, adakah saya patut improve nada saya bercerita dan macam daripada mendatang macam ni, ataupun macam ni, cerita macam ni, dia kena bersemangat macam ni, ataupun dia kena I don't know where to
For
put
me
myself.
lah, for me, what makes you comfortable lah. Sometimes you trying to go against your own nature tu memang susah. But of course at the same time pun, how can you improve? Not to say you nak shift 360 degree, but what makes you comfortable the most? Yeah, I thought at certain point in time, I need to be really funny. I need to change the way that I speak. I said, no need lah. Actually, just follow what is comfortable for me lah. Tapi even that, I think I was able to build my audience also. Yeah, some people they say, your voice is different. I said, okay lah, doesn't matter lah. People will always ada opinion on something lah. Tapi at the end of the day, what is the value that you bring to your audience? I think that's the most important.
Sebab why this is important lagi lah. I just want to panjangkan this part of discussion ialah contoh kalau orang tu dia nak kena buat TikTok live, dia tak pernah buat TikTok live, tapi dia rasa dia perlu buat TikTok live, but somehow dia takut untuk jadi diri dia, dia takut dan membuatkan dia jadi tak ada confidence bila dia nak berhadapan dengan TikTok live. Sebab duduk TikTok live lagilah kena bercerita kan.
Yalah.
So untuk orang macam dia, macam mana kita nak yakinkan? I believe orang macam dia ialah orang yang bukan minority pun. Memang majority orang yang the things that you mention about ramai orang consume instead of creating, sebabkan that kind of issues.
Fear lah.
Maybe
Takut.
fear, macam takut macam
Fear of being judged lah macam tu.
fear of being judged by the stories dan sebagainya kan. Then to this type of people kan, how do you cakap kat dia orang, relax, this is step 1. Relax, this is step 1.
Because the thing is kan, most people will have that fear lah, fear of judgment. Of course, it's natural lah. People will tend to takut lah. Tapi the only way to learn is you have to really start. Dia kena start, because once you start, then you have clarity. Clarity akan datang daripada action, bukan daripada presumption or making assumption lah. So I think for most people, they kena start dulu. Once you start, then you know how to improve. You cannot reach the ideal stage that you want to be tanpa doing something first lah. So dia kena start dulu lah. Then you improve from there lah. Whether you want to improve in terms of your posture ataupun the way that you speak, the way that you present, it needs to go through that process lah.
Adakah because bila you cakap macam tu kan, I just notice something about the education system yang you mention about cookie cutter. Adakah the cookie cutter tu sendiri yang membentuk orang tu macam tu? Sebab kan, kalau macam cookie cutter, belajar dulu baru buat. Belajar dulu, saya exam dulu, test, okay, lepas baru buat. But now the execution dah different. Dia tak belajar dulu, kita buat dulu and then belajar along the way. Benda ni yang orang rasa macam.
Betul. So that's why if you notice yang banyak education system yang daripada negara-negara macam Finland, the Scandinavian countries lah, they memang encourage critical thinking, do first, and then they really encourage to buat something dulu lah. But at the same time, that's how you learn lah. That's the best way to learn. Sebab most people dia akan ada fear tu, dia takut, because they will start thinking, dia punya risk is too high compared to doing it. So people try to avoid the risk lah. I think it's the same thing for me. Masa, as I said earlier, I thought this life is memang akan macam tu je. You kerja, after that you bayar bill every month, you raise a family, then you retire by 60 or 65. Then that's it. Tapi if you think about from one perspective, even for me lah, I don't look at the retirement actually. Because I want to contribute for as long as I can. And I believe I dah build my audience, might as well just leverage lah until the day I passed on lah. So that's my perspective. And I think one perspective yang saya rasa quite important, every person in this world, setiap orang yang ada di dunia ni, they have a purpose actually. Tapi most people do not know. They do not know what's their purpose. you takkan tahu your purpose if you don't try something. Yeah. And if most people do not try sebab dia takut.
Atau malas.
Malas. Yeah. One thing lah, and that's why banyak lah yang creators yang kita observe dekat social media ni, they always start somewhere. They akan start. You can tengok lah dia punya first version of the video memang totally different dengan their current version. Tapi they tried. So they went through that process lah. So each person punya journey pun akan totally different. Dia akan unique, dia tak sama dengan, of course people will try to learn from each other lah. Tapi at the end of the day, it's how you portray yourself. Your authenticity, your authentic side. And more importantly in the world of AI sekarang ni, no one can truly copy your story. And no one akan ada my point of view of AMIRUL from this. This is the most unique view in the world. Satu saja dalam dunia ni.
Betul.
And there's no AI pun yang boleh replicate this view at this point in time. And AI do not have the the point of view, the nuance, the understanding. And that what makes it so powerful lah. Sebab tu lah I selalu advocate, every person has a story. Every person has a story to tell, but how do you make it interesting lah for you?
Maybe some of them cakap, why matters? Why does my story matters to other people?
Okay, one angle I memang suka cakap perspektif lah, because I don't like to teach people. I like to give people perspective, sebab then they start to think. Itu I think is a better way lah. Sebab itulah banyak guru-guru dekat internet tu, sorry man, I don't follow them. I follow people who encourage thinking, original thinking. So back to the angle 100%. Semua yang every one of us lah, we have gone through education system. And I think maybe you pun nak kerja kan? How many years of working experience do you have?
I mean, dalam business, in business area dah 10 years lah.
Dah 10 years kan? For sure, 100%. There is somebody wants to learn something from you. Kan? For sure, 100%. Because the thing is, although sekarang ni banyak lah yang successful entrepreneurs or businesses kan, tapi if you talk to somebody yang memang baru nak start, when they look at that person tu, contoh Elon Musk lah, Elon Musk is like 1 million steps ahead of him or her, and it's not relatable. Sangat-sangat susah nak emulate or at least learn from that person lah. But it is more relatable to learn from you, because firstly you are Malaysian, you understand the context, you understand the Malaysian story, and that makes it powerful. So that's why I feel semua orang ada opportunity to create something, because there's always somebody who wants to learn from you. Just macam ni lah, macam you also said tadi kan, because you want to learn something from me also. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You can learn from Elon Musk, you can learn from Steve Jobs ataupun Mark Zuckerberg, but I don't think it's relatable. They don't understand the Malaysian context, but we do understand. We understand Malaysian context. Kita tahu pasal what's happening in Malaysia. So that's the context tu memang sangat-sangat penting. So in anything lah.
Context you mentioned.
Yeah, context.
Yes, sebab sebelum ni ada, because you mentioned context. Sebelum ni ada macam discussion between me and my team about content versus context. And then boleh tak Tuan explain dekat audience apa beza context dengan content, and then why benda tu dia perlu separate ataupun disekalikan?
Dia kena combine lah for me, because everything yang kita buat, especially in content, dia kena ada context. Kalau if you just create content without context, it's no meaning lah.
Konteks tu ialah perspektif tu lah.
Yeah, perspective, point of view, what is it is all about. So katakan on my social media lah, I have my 4 content pillars are marketing, entrepreneurship, technology dengan mindset. Yeah, those are my content pillars lah in a sense. Because I feel these are the 4 things that you need to build. Kalau you nak build progressive life and business lah. Ultimately, you need a good mindset. Technology is what you need to scale the business. You need the entrepreneurship skills to build something. Marketing is the way that you showcase whatever you try to sell lah. So those are my content pillars. So people yang contoh lah, maybe one day saya katakan today is the first day you nampak my content. Contoh lah. Then I'm talking about certain topics. Then maybe that topic is interesting to you lah, interesting to you. Then you start to follow me. Then you start to see more of my content. So maybe you have already followed me contohnya for 6 months lah, contoh ya. Then you have seen most of my content. So from your mindset or from your point of view, you dah understand that context, what kind of content do I create, kan? So when you see my content, then you understand that, you dah understand. Tapi for most people yang will not invest in time and effort to understand the context of my content, dia said, alah, this guy ni dia just create content pasal entrepreneurship ni, which is maybe orang tu memang dia nak fokus, nak consume funny content saja. Then people will unfollow because he doesn't probably understand the context or maybe not relevant to him anymore. So that's why the context and content has to be there lah.
When you mention content pillars, mindset, technology, entrepreneurship dan juga marketing ni,
Yeah.
Kenapa bila saya baca benda ni, this is like a content pillars untuk semua orang. It feels like a structured pillars that need to have, macam contoh saya.
Yeah.
To build content, to build this storytelling journey
Yeah.
about me or Laga Lutut, I need to have the mindset correct, I need to have the entrepreneurship correct, marketing
Betul.
correct. Even if I want to sell this
Yes,
tumbler or
betul.
just the drinks kan, I need to have that kind of content to
Betul.
or just to build this. Is that the correct macam cara fikir benda ni, ataupun actually content pillars ni ada benda lain lagi?
Actually content pillars can come in many ways lah. Tapi this is the structured way for me lah. At least because when I start to create my content, I can see, okay, so this touches on this content pillar, specific content pillar. So I don't go far off from the things that I do lah. So if I do it consistently over time, it will attract these audiences yang relevant to these content pillars lah.
Basically, this content pillars is the interest machine lah.
Yalah, the interest.
It start the interest media started with this for you lah
For me
basically.
lah, yeah.
So untuk other people, macam mana dia nak dapatkan 4 ni? Adakah kena dapatkan 4 atau 3 atau 2 atau lebih daripada tu?
Each person, dia akan unique lah for each person. Because I think maybe contohnya there might be somebody yang interested in memancing contohnya. I'm not interested in memancing ikan kan. So there won't be any content that push to me related to memancing lah. Tapi the new interest that I have now is camping, contoh lah camping. Then I'm going to start looking at this content. Tapi how do I make this camping related content relevant to what I'm trying to do lah contohnya. So
Sebab based on you mention just now tadi kan, obviously you bukan orang yang kata apa advocate untuk orang pergi camping beramai-ramai kan. So you are not in the side of creator, tapi you are in the side of the consuming, consumer punya side. So basically content pillars ni pun ialah untuk content, kena ada somewhat, macam I nampak macam ada 2 side. Satu untuk side creator tu, berapa banyak je dia nak nak cuba create untuk people consume. And then on the other side, as a consumer, the interest sangat banyak, dan dia sentiasa bertukar-tukar, dan dia sentiasa. What do you take on that?
Yeah, so that's the opportunity lah, as I said kan. Sebab people now, they consume based on interest. Katakan dia memang interested funny content only, so for sure dia tak akan nampak inspirational content. Maybe all the yang joke semua tu, yang buat lucu-lucu skits, that is the path lah. Tapi when following that path, then you only become a consumer mindset. You only consume saja. Tapi once you start to change your mindset little lah, said, why should I continue to be somebody yang consume content saja? Why don't I create something? So once you have that kind of mindset, then you're gonna start to look for inspirational content, people who have done it, then you want to learn from them. Again, this is perspektif lah I cakap kan.
Yeah, betul. And then when you mention tadi kan, bila kita cakap pasal kita sebagai storyteller, now this is our audience.
Yes.
We only hold this kind of pillars sahaja. The context, the perspective that we hold, ini sahaja yang kita buat. But then the interest daripada bahagian audience punya side, dia berubah. Dulu dia suka, sekarang dia dah tak suka dah.
Yalah.
Dulu dia tengok, sekarang dah tak tengok dah. And macam mana kita boleh perlukah kita stay dynamic, ubah our interest ataupun we stick to the interest, tak kira lah audience tu sekarang dia dah suka, dulu dia dah tak suka dah.
I think
Atau we move with the interest as well. Kalau kita tengok data, ramai dah engagement dah kurang bila aku dah cakap pasal business. Sekarang orang ramai aku cakap pasal business. Dulu bila saya cakap pasal let me tell one thing
lah.
about myself sikit
Yalah,
lah.
boleh.
Dulu dekat Twitter I ada like 12,000 followers.
Yeah.
And then apa yang I cakap dekat Twitter tu hanyalah Facebook ads je. So orang yang follow saya, semua orang tahu saya digital marketer, Facebook ads. Now Twitter dah dah I'm not sure kalau Malaysia sekarang dah move to threads. Okay, so to move to threads, Facebook punya ads sekarang pada waktu tu memang sangat rancak sebab waktu tu tak ada TikTok.
Yalah.
So sekarang bila TikTok dah ada, benda tu dah shift, the interest dah mula shift. Dan sebagai storyteller yang banyak cerita pasal Facebook ads sebelum ni, should I stick with Facebook ads atau should I follow the interest?
Okay.
I mean that is my question dalam bentuk saya punya perspektif.
Yalah.
Tapi untuk orang lain, maksudnya itulah soalannya. Dia macam dulu dia dah cerita banyak benda ni. Lepas tu bila interest dah tukar, adakah dia kena follow ataupun dia kena stick with the pillars? Macam contoh you mention marketing. And tiba-tiba you somehow satu hari tu you cerita pasal HR contoh. And then ramai gila orang suka HR daripada apa you punya cerita kan. Adakah menjadi satu add-on ataupun dalam you punya content pillars ataupun dia menjadi you kena tukar?
Okay. This is not really about tukar-tukar lah. Because at the end of the day, what is the thing that you're trying to do lah? Kalau if you look at the underlying principle, if you intend to memang you still want to educate your audience in certain topics, especially topics yang that you have interest in lah. Tapi macam contohnya macam you mentioned tadi, you feel like previously you are the experts in Facebook ads lah. Tapi because the industry has shifted, kan? And then you started to acquire new knowledge in TikTok ads contohnya. Tapi the underlying principle is still there. It's still about ads. It's still about marketing. It's still about social media. So it's only the certain specific topic tu yang dah berubah. The underlying principle is still there. So it doesn't change actually.
Actually tukar sikit lah kot. Macam contoh lah macam Facebook ads, the technical part is different from TikTok kan. And then untuk orang yang macam I can see the market changes, the interest changes kan. Tapi diri itu sendiri it's like macam alamak nak kena belajar TikTok lah pula. Alamak tapi dah jadi malas balik. So basically dia dah so
at the end of the day it's really you lah. So the same thing for me kan. Masa I think about 3 years ago my Twitter grew quite fast lah time tu. Masa tu Elon Musk belum took over. I think the algorithm was still good lah time tu. It's like every time I post pun memang the stories will be pushed out lah by the algorithm kan. Tapi I said okay lah, since Elon Musk took over, the algorithm already changed, then I have to change my way of storytelling dekat Twitter sudah. So at the end of the day, but the underlying principle of storytelling is still there. Dia tak berubah. Cuma the method maybe, the delivery, the way that I post it change a little bit. Contohnya the last few weeks pun I tengah eksperimen. So every time I keluar, I try to talk to certain businesses. Tengok normally when I go, contohnya 2 hari lepas I pergi this kedai ni, dia Tom Sticker. Pernah dengar tak Tom Sticker? Pernah dengar?
Macam pernah.
So they specialist in buat sticker creator of anything, of any size. Sebab coincidentally I nak buat, I tengah restore my Pajero. I nak buat stiker tu lah, stiker for the Pajero tu. So I dah check banyak tempat. So my friend hari tu dia introduce, you try to go to Tom Sticker lah, dia dekat Balakong. So I drove there lah. So when I got there, I said quite interesting Then normal people dia akan masa pergi kedai tu dia very transactional. Dia cakap okay, can you do this macam ni, okay, done. Tapi because I'm a storyteller, so I said who's the founder of this company? And then I said that guy Tom. So that guy came lah. Then I talked to him. Oh, so you're the founder. So then what is the story? What is your story? I tanya lah, what is your story? So dia cakap I'm from actually daripada Alostar, Chinese guy lah. Tapi I memang interested dengan kereta semua tu. So masa muda dulu dia cakap dia start try to offer jual car sticker. So dia potong sendiri lah. Dia potong sendiri car sticker macam-macam design, dia jual dekat pasar malam. Then after that they started to grow. Now he has like ada 3-4 branches dekat KL. It's big lah, and they do memang car wrapping. Dulu pakai tangan, sekarang dah ada machine. Amazing lah, the work is amazing. So again, it's really about your perspective. How do you find stories? Do you have that creator mindset or consumer mindset? If you are a creator mindset, it will open a lot of opportunities for sure. If you just want to consume, that's your life path lah. You akan stay dekat path tu. And I think what you're doing is amazing also lah. You're trying to educate your audience through this podcast. And that is something that, as I said, the opportunities yang most people are not tapping on. Dia pakai social media untuk consume saja. But look at it. It's a powerful tool that we have. We can create so many things. You have your stories, you have your experiences. For sure, somebody nak belajar daripada you.
Tapi kan dalam macam contoh lagu Lutut podcast, I jadi host je.
Okay lah.
So
It doesn't matter.
most of the screen time memang banyak pada guest. So
I mean, that's the point. That's the point. But at least you build that platform. You invite macam-macam guests lah. to be
So
part
I
of
macam
it.
like for the podcast, orang yang invite guests, dia
Yeah.
macam dia pull people from many ranges. Dia agak broad lah.
Yeah lah. But at the end of the day, the topic may be interesting to some people, so they can start follow lah. Yeah.
So basically macam contoh untuk lagu Lutut podcast kan, I mean what kind of do I need to set my own pillars for this, and then guest tu pun I invite yang tepat pada pillars tu saja.
I think because
It can be random sebab so far memang lagu Lutut podcast ni tak ada invite comedian lagi.
But again, we live in a world today yang memang, as I said lah, memang based on interest lah. I feel, contoh if you want to invite comedian, why it's important? I feel why it's important because people want to be entertained, firstly. Secondly, funny content you combine dengan educational content is something really powerful. So even masa I buat presentation, I try to masukkan humor lah. So memang tak akan serious all the time. So I want to learn that also actually. So
Learn to be
funny actually, to be funny lah.
Okay.
Because I feel it's a powerful thing. So that's why I pun sekarang tengah tengok comedian, stand up comedian, how do they do it, how do they deliver dia punya content, how to make funny. Then I try to apply some of it lah during my presentation. And that's how you improve lah. Again, you cannot, if you think you memang not the funny person, it's hard lah. So you kena go through that process juga.
When you mention that kan, kan recently kan, I mean Harid Iskandar dah banyak buat
Yes.
kelas
Yes,
macam mana
betul.
nak jadi public speaker,
Yes,
and then dia ajar oleh dia pula.
Yeah.
Dia pernah datang kelas dia?
Belum pernah, tapi I know he runs this together with a few people lah. David, there's a couple of, David, there's one more guy I forgot already. Few of them memang they work together to run this class. And dia punya target market pun memang people who want to upskill lah, people want to create something kan. So they run this class, I know, together. And I've attended some of the events that they organize lah, just to meet. So I met Harid.
So itulah yang maksudnya bila kita kena jadi a storyteller yang ada unsur-unsur humor tu lah.
Yes, I
That
think
that
that's
kind of that
important lah.
level of important
Yeah.
lah.
Because itulah, you cannot think also yang people ni dia nak serious content all the time. People want to, especially social media lah, people want to be entertain lah. That's the general principle. Of course, even for us lah as humans kan, we want to be entertained lah. We want to, takkanlah nak tengok serious content all the time.
Tapi entertainment bukan cerita pasal funny things je kan.
No,
I mean
kan many ways lah.
Sad things, drama.
Yeah, many ways lah. That's kan. But at the end of the day, it touches human emotions kan, and that's what makes us human lah. So that's why sometimes if you check dekat, if you want to katakan you nak pakai AI tool, say, hey, please write a funny joke. When I look at it, it's not funny, you know.
It rasa soulless.
Tak ada soul because AI don't understand that lah. Maybe at this point in time lah, tapi in the future, who knows kan? Who knows? It can be funny.
Do you feel orang kata apa tergugat
Tergugat of?
AI?
No. It's actually helping me a lot. Even I pernah cakap lah, AI will not replace storytellers. Yeah, macam tu But it will replace storytellers who are not using AI. Right?
So kalau guna AI macam ni you guna untuk buat story?
So for example, the original thinking is still there. Because the idea, the point of view is still there. Tapi AI can help me build that content. Okay, how do we make this more interesting? How do we see this from the algorithm perspective? These are the things that AI can help lah. How do I make this sentence lebih punchy daripada what I've done before? Yeah. Of course, you can train AI to write the way that you write lah. Contoh for me So it helps to accelerate lah. Dulu, normally I will spend hours to just write a piece of story. Now it's accelerated much lesser time. And I can spend more of that time untuk buat more creative thinking, creative observation. So it helps lah in many ways. I think it's a very powerful thing. Kalau you tak pakai, memang you left out lah. So you kena pakai. Tapi never use AI to replace original thinking. I think most people, they akan rely 100% on AI. Then there's no soul, there's no perspective, there's no point of view. You don't have your own story pun dalam tu. And that makes it all content the same. So AI will create similar content lah if you tak masukkan context, point of view, in your own story.
One thing I noticed about sepanjang kita berpodcast ni, I notice you bila you talk something about the value that you want to share, the emotion yang you project through your yang I nampak ni berbeza when you talk about other people's.
Contoh
macam you cerita Tom Sticker tadi, you punya muka terus jadi macam vibrant, you macam like macam bersemangat nak cerita pasal orang lain. Adakah memang you pengumpul cerita? You are the story collector?
I can say because masa if I collect the stories, I feel inspirational lah. So contohnya semalam dekat lorong belakang, there's this couple, Malay couple, married couple lah, Rin dengan Don. So I featured the story dekat my social last night. Actually, I met them a few weeks ago. Tapi before that pun I start beli diorang punya. So they actually make banana pudding. Banana pudding. So nama company dia tu, nama dia punya stall tu Don Rin. So Don Rin. So Don is the guy lah. Dia punya nickname. The real name Fitri. Rin, I don't know dia punya full name though. So anyway, they started this business 8 months ago dekat Cyberjaya. Because Rin, dia suka buat dessert. And she feels that more people should have nice dessert lah. So they focus on buat banana pudding saja. So coincidentally, dia punya husband, Don, he's a mechanical engineer. Dia pernah kerja dekat Malaysia Airlines dulu. Tapi because they decided to start this business, then now they're working together lah full time on this business. So even that is actually quite interesting because it shows that through passion they started something. In fact, when they started pun they start jual dekat tepi jalan. So they cakap the first 2 days tu memang hambar lah, tak ada, very few customers lah. So Rin buat, dia start posting dekat TikTok. So that content went viral, FYP. So the third day, there was a queue. People datang. But of course, they cannot sell at the roadside lah. Because, you need proper permit kan. So they join lah dekat pasar malam dekat lorong belakang. Pernah pergi?
Pernah.
Kan?
I bagi talk dekat Asteria belakang tu.
Kan. So they're there. So I featured this story. So to me it's interesting lah how they started. I think again, as I said kan, people want to learn from people who are a few steps ahead of them rather than from Elon Musk.
Tapi untuk you as a story as a story collector.
Yes.
To you as a story collector kan, apa yang you nampak that makes other story interesting? There are so many stories.
Yes.
But how you choose yang story tu menarik untuk dikongsikan ataupun for yourself as well?
The more people that you meet lah, you can feel the vibe lah. Dia ni macam, I think each person in this world dia akan generate certain type of energy, aura macam tu. And I can feel it. Personally, I can feel it. If I feel it right, I think this is inspirational. It touches my soul, it touches my energy level. I want to tell their story. Sometimes I met founders, entrepreneurs. That just doesn't feel right lah. And normally I'm 90% correct. Dia mesti ada something yang tak betul dengan cerita tu. And something that's
Dia fabricate ke cerita tu?
either fabricate or something yang they did behind yang tak authentic lah, yang tak honest. There are many these kind of stories juga kan. Of course many lah. Then eventually I said, maybe at certain point in time pun I nak highlight certain stories dekat my social media. I said, maybe I should just wait lah. Then wait. Then eventually a few months later or a year later, nampak keluar news. So this person kena tangkap MACC. So for some reason it works a lot of times lah. So that's why I think the way that I want to advocate is trying to be authentic, be truthful, be honest. I think those are very important values lah, especially when nak buat business in today's context.
And then that's how you choose the stories lah.
That's normally how I choose lah. So it has to be inspirational in some ways, tapi at the same time we don't advocate yang benda yang tak betul lah. I don't think we should do that. So itulah. So
Menarik.
yeah.
Actually kita dah sampai penghujung sebenarnya.
Okay. So memang banyak lah. I mean we can spend few hours talking about this kind of thing. Tapi at the end of the day tu yang
Sebenarnya saya nak tanya lagi berkenaan dengan I mean I as you can see I tak prepare apa-apa soalan. I didn't prepare.
Me too.
I might as well I tak buat research pun pasal Richard Kerr in deepest way as possible, yang by right any host untuk podcast perlu to know what's you been doing and so on dan sebagainya kan. But for me sebab I memang dah I called you upon here untuk sebagai I kenal you sebagai the storyteller. I met you dekat Connected, you naik atas stage and then we to go and meet up and then we talk about some businesses kan. So I can see that you are a great storyteller, you are a great content creator as well. Ramai orang suka you punya cerita, and then I also bila baca you punya threads, bila you share, I feel like macam mana lah dia ni boleh cerita macam ni kan. Kenapa, macam mana aku nak cerita macam dia? I feel like macam benda tu jadi. So as a so-called macam analytical person macam saya kan, yang cerita pasal logik je, dia jadi macam benda ni jadi, kita copy je. Tapi susah nak buat. susah nak copy. Maybe sebab kata apa, the things that I notice bila kita buat content, in the mindset of kita nak try to copy from other people because kita nampak benda tu berjaya. Somewhat bila kita cuba buat benda yang sama, dia tak jadi. But whenever I try to be more truth about myself, bila kita tulis content, bila buat video dengan lebih kata apa, rasa dekat diri tu, kita bercerita pasal benda tu, dia pergi.
Itulah. You have to be you lah. Of course you want to learn lah from others kan. You nak copy in certain ways. Of course that's the natural way lah. Tapi at the end of the day memang you kena buat sendiri. You see what works best for you, what feels the most natural. I think that's, and eventually we'll get your audience lah. You have to think, at least for me, daripada my one perspective, I don't just look at Malaysian audience kan. I look at a global audience because my content pun has already gone viral all around the world lah.
So, because you choose English kan.
Yes, and I think that's very intentional. Because I want to have a global audience juga pun. I want to have a global. I see even kalau bukan global pun, at least regional content lah. Southeast Asia pun is actually good enough to build something. So it ties to my goal to nak buat academy for entrepreneurs and creators targeting Southeast Asia.
Cuma kan one thing about content creator, susah nak buat duit dia. Sebenarnya lah to start untuk I mean kalau you nak buat content creator as a business instead of a business as a content creator, I think nak buat duit untuk sebagai content creator ni susah. And then for you, how you monetize this? Bila dah ada audience dan sebagainya, how you monetize this? And then this also associate dengan Laga Lutut lah. Laga Lutut pun tak buat duit. So I was like macam susah nak buat duit.
Understand. Memang totally understand. Many people memang boleh buat content, can have millions of views, tapi a lot of them do not know how to monetize. So the monetization tu yang sangat penting, because only when you go through the education system, you at least get some years of working experience, go through some pain point yourself, you can build solutions, then you can monetize. Because orang normally they look at purely from the monetization directly daripada platform lah, which is okay, people can do that. Tapi more importantly, how can you build something yang dapat solve people's problem? So katakan with my existing audience, many of them follow, a lot of them pun memang entrepreneurs and business owners lah. For sure, business owners, they need some sort of marketing. So now they look at me or my company, who can help them build their social media presence also. So we built that solution lah. So today I run a social media marketing agency. So we help our partners atau clients lah to create content for their social media. Tapi the underlying principle, pakai storytelling. Because kalau nak cari marketing agency, berlambak lah dekat Malaysia ni, thousands of companies. Tapi those who are using storytelling memang I can count by hands. Even if you Google pun, you can search social media storytelling. I think my website ranks number 1 or number 2 or number 3 lah. They are quite dynamic. Tapi cakap, if you search for social media marketing, banyak. So the positioning is also very important. So this is how I monetize lah. So working with clients, we help them strategize their social media. Then we produce the content. So because sekarang pun, if you look at the algorithm, dia akan push banyak short videos sekarang. Short videos, yeah. So it doesn't matter if you have 10 followers pun, kalau if your content is good, it's going to be shown to many people lah. So we produce the content, we deploy our team, they can go for shoots, we do the editing, posting, reporting. So end to end lah.
So basically the format yang you buat content for your client pun based on the 5 things that you share tadi tu lah.
Which one? Yeah.
Yang hook, and then ada intrigue, body, convince.
Yeah, of course, part of it lah. But so many ways to do the content kan sekarang. So it depends on the framework. What's the goal that you're trying to achieve lah daripada content tu. Tapi for us, it's really about being consistent. So dia kena produce banyak content every day. Produce as in at least every day kena post lah.
Recent tak apa dah tukar orang. Tak apa lama sikit tak apa sikit. Sebab now I work with a lot of SMEs. And then on how we help them grow their business is through content. And content tu pula dia macam mana nak cakap, dia macam susah untuk kita memberi satu push kepada dia orang yang dia orang perlu keluarkan content setiap hari. And dan dia orang nampak benda tu, kadang-kadang dia orang tak percaya benda tu boleh pergi, kadang-kadang dia orang rasa macam dia orang rasa tak tahu nak post apa, something like that lah. Macam dia macam satu situasi yang di jumbles up everything. All this overwhelming lah, orang lain buat lagi better daripada dia dan sebagainya, membuatkan dia rasa macam aku tak nak buat content hari ni, aku rasa macam give up. So sebenarnya nak buat content ni, sebenarnya nak decide nak buat content apa hari ni pun sebenarnya dah susah. Betul kan? Betul. But for you, how do you make it easy for yourself untuk buat content setiap hari dan sebagainya?
For my platform, for
you lah,
for my account lah.
Yeah.
Dia ni macam exercise tau. Exercise dia macam pergi gym lah. Your first day, katakan you tak pernah pergi gym, your first day punya gym memang tough lah. Tapi as you build, as you being more consistent and everything, dia akan jadi lebih senang lah, lebih mudah. So it's the same thing, creating content. You look at it, kalau if you think it's hard, then it's going to be hard lah. Again, it goes back to the mindset kan. Tapi if you fikir, okay, what is the story or what is that opportunity I can create something today? So I think because the way that I approach for content ni, I think this is for most people jugalah. You just focus on 3 things kalau nak buat content or storytelling lah. You educate, you inspire, atau you entertain. Most people will entertain lah. Tapi for me, what can I educate today? How can I inspire somebody? So if I think daripada segi perspektif tu, then it's quite easy for me to create. Tapi at the end of the day, it's how do I make it easy also to produce the content lah. Of course, I have my team that can help me, tapi they are busy dengan clients' work. So I don't want to interrupt them too much lah. So for me, kalau macam if I want to create my content, how do I make it easy? Of course, writing is something that I can do fairly easily nowadays lah. Take photos. So katakan the story of Edon Rain tu dekat jual banana pudding, I just went there, take photos, 6-7 photos, good enough, then ask them questions, then then they just produce the article lah, the story tu. Tapi because I've already taken 6 and 7 photos, I nak post carousel dekat Instagram juga. So that's very intentional, because with that 6 or 7 photos, that's all I need to make the story scrollable lah dekat Instagram. So the goal is to make it easy for you also to produce. Kalau you kena spend a lot of time buat editing semua tu, and it's gonna take a lot of time, memang the barrier tu memang ada lah. So it will discourage you sometimes. So I kena fikir what is the easiest way for me to push out that content. Yeah.
Macam mana you boleh ingat cerita orang? You ambil notes ke? Ataupun you record the sessions? Macam why I'm asking that question ialah untuk saya macam saya pun interview ramai orang. But to be honest, saya tak ingat cerita dia orang. Dan I believe bila I interview ni, kita sit podcast ni, kalau I nak sit down balik untuk like tukar benda tu jadi writing for apa yang I belajar daripada Richard Kerr pada hari ni kan, and then buat dalam bentuk posting, I might akan shut up my brain macam apa aku bincang ni tadi.
Banyak kan?
Dia macam banyak. So on your part kan, macam mana you ingat?
Of course I make notes jugalah. I mean I cannot remember everything kan. Tapi again lah, kalau at least for me because even 2 days ago pun I went to this chicken rice shop. The chicken rice dalam kopitiam ni lah dekat Balakong. I posted the story also on Twitter, Threads dengan Facebook and LinkedIn. Firstly, I thought this was just a random chicken rice lah, yang biasalah Chinese chicken rice shop kan. Dia ada stall saja. So I pergi tu because I check dekat Waze that is the nearest to get there. And masa dia tengok Waze pun, dia punya review pun quite high lah, 4.8. Okay lah, pergilah. 10 minutes drive daripada where I was. So masa sampai tu, so I turun lah, nampak so this is the stall Tengok macam tak ada apa special pun. So I just tengok macam dekat tu. Then the guy started talking to me. So apparently he's the owner lah. Then we started talking. And in fact, dia punya English pun is so good because he was a working person dulu lah. But eventually he lost his job when he was 45 masa tu. Then he didn't find any job for 1 year. Eventually dia cakap, I'm going to start making my own chicken rice. Tapi I nak buat chicken rice ni special sebab I nak pakai arang, charcoal. So he shared his story lah, how he started and everything, how he fine-tuned. So he's been running this for many years now, since 2011, for 15 years. So I don't really remember everything. Tapi I know there are things that he mentioned, it sticks with me lah. So as soon as we finished talking hari tu, I immediately took out my notes, I put down everything. Apa yang I ingat time tu. So this is where you also use AI lah to help you how to structure it. So it helps lah. So the notes needs to be there. So it accelerated my so it reduces the friction lah for me to create the content. So I know for the fact that okay, this story is good enough. I already have the photos. I took the photos juga, post lah. Whether people will read it or not, that's another story lah. Tapi I know the story did not go viral pun, tak adalah viral sangat, but still it inspires some people, and that to me is already good enough.
You ada guna apa-apa tools ke macam like second brain punya tools macam contoh?
Second tak ada lah, but I just use the standard tools lah, like ChatGPT, Claude. Claude is actually good. I like it.
Betul.
Claude sangat bagus.
Ada lama guna Claude.
Yeah.
Bila you cerita tu baru I teringat, why not lepas ni lepas habis session ni I pergi kat kerja kita, I just record my voice.
Yes.
Cerita apa yang I belajar hari ni terus tanpa
Yeah.
tulis nota and then terus transcribekan je dalam bentuk writings.
Betul. And there's something that I always teach lah in my masterclass. So I also run masterclass for corporates, for companies yang looking for how to tell better stories lah on social media. There's something called the rule of three.
The rule of three?
Pernah dengar?
Tak pernah nak tulis ni.
So the rule of three is actually it's a very simple concept. Because the human mind, dia tak boleh proses sangat banyak information in a very short time.
Betul?
So katakanlah you have a story to tell, banyak lah dalam cerita tu kan, but you only focus on three things that you feel the most important, or that most apa yang resonate dengan you lah, the three most important things. Then you just tell those three things lah. Contohnya, three things that I learned from Richard Kerr daripada podcast hari ni. Of course there are 20 things that you learn, tapi you focus on the three things that you think that resonate with you the most.
Faham.
And Apple does this a lot of time. When they launched the iPhone in 2007, Steve Jobs, dia cakap, today we're gonna launch a new product. Three things, dia cakap. Internet communicator, a phone, and a device with touch controls. Three things. Itu saja dia cakap. Dia cakap the same thing. He repeats it over and over again dalam presentation, dia punya keynote tu. So Apple does this a lot actually. The rule of three. So if you think about the rule of three, dia applicable bukan saja in terms of in the products. If you think about marketing ataupun slogan, contohnya apa slogan Nike?
Just do it.
Exactly. That's
Three
the
things.
rule of three.
Faham.
The rule of three. Because that's how the human mind is. Dia tak boleh proses
Lebih daripada tiga
information. And that's why my storytelling, why it resonates, because it's also simple. Simple. You need to make it simple lah. And normally if you notice my posting tu, there are lessons learned. I masukkan the rule of three there. 3 lessons to learn from the chicken rice seller. So I masukkan 3 things lah.
Wow. Best. Thank you so much.
No
for
problem,
our chat.
Amirul. Hopefully your audience pun learn something from today lah. Yeah, I think that's my goal. I don't intend to compete. I think I want to bring value to people also lah in what I do.
So thank you for coming, and then I pray whatever that you do bring you more success.
Same to you. I hope as creators, whatever we do, we can bring value and be meaningful lah in this world and afterlife. Kan?
Right.
Alright.
Thank you so much.
Take care. All the best.
Take care. Okay, thank you, Aiman. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, all good.
Okay.